The Prime Minister was poised to respond to a question by Cherangani MP Joshua Kutuni on the country's level of preparedness ahead of the forthcoming general election that will be the most complex in Kenya's history. The election date round spiraled into a no-holds-barred political showdown.
Can the Prime Minister give the real government position about the election date so that it ends this anxiety?
Sections of the government prefer the March elections. The sections who prefer December elections, like myself.
The electoral body IEBC has settled on March 4th, 2013 as the election date, following an advisory opinion rendered by the Constitutional Court.
A ruling of the court does not stop us from thinking, and therefore as a thinking Kenyan, I disagree with it totally.
This matter is already being contested in court. There's already a court case that is ongoing. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we will await the outcome of that petition.
But debate on the matter turned combative when the Prime Minister was challenged to state the government's position on the election date.
The question is, what is the government position on the date of the election? Not your opinion, not anybody's opinion.
Mr. Speaker, I have a right to answer questions the way I want to answer it. Mr. Speaker, unless the honourable member want to answer.
Order. You have put on record a very dangerous statement. Members of the front bench who are led by you in the House have a right to give accurate information to the House, not to answer the way they want.
How can the government then claim to have any roadmap that has no date on when the elections will be held? How are they planning? Mr. Speaker, I think the Prime Minister should take the business of this House seriously.
First, Mr. Speaker, I say that the court made a ruling, and we respect that ruling. And that, Mr. Speaker, is what the President has gone by. Mr. Speaker should even have added that, Mr. Speaker, that was also adopted by the Cabinet. So, Mr. Speaker, if you want official government position, that is the official government position.
With the election date matter dealt with, the question of ethnic mobilization ahead of the forthcoming polls raised even more political dust.
I want the Prime Minister to confirm to the nation that he is the father and the architect of ethnic balkanization and mobilization in this country, starting with the region that he comes from 15 years ago.
Is it in order for the Honorable Duale, in a bid to ask the Prime Minister a question, to cast aspersions on the character and personality of the Prime Minister by saying that is the architect?
Order, member for question. Order. We merely asked a question, which is entitled to. Order, member for Gwasi.
If I were to be an architect of ethnic balkanization, I would never see the floor of this House. I will never be elected, Mr. Speaker, on the basis of the vote from one ethnic community in the constituency that I represent. Mr. Speaker, when others go and assemble in Eldoret and say, you are a Kamatusa or Kamatusi, and that you are our leader, Mr. Speaker, they are beating ethnic drums, Mr. Speaker.
The ethnic mobilization row gave way to yet another contentious issue: discipline in the management and membership of political parties. The Prime Minister maintained that political parties should be driven by ideologies and not tribal affiliation.
I do not know whether the Prime Minister was listening to himself, because the Prime Minister holds the record in this House for having changed parties. He holds the record. He hasn't told the House how he managed to change to all these parties. I think he must be in the 8th party. What drove him from one party to another? Was it the policies he was following, as he's telling the House?
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member is saying that I hold a record. I have changed political parties 4 times, because NAC was not a political party as such. We were only an LDP. Mr. Speaker, KANU, ODM, UDM, and URP are 4. He himself, Mr. Speaker, has changed parties 4 times like myself.
The climax of the political showdown was the Kolomani MP Dr. Boni Halwale's cheeky attempt to question the authenticity of Prime Minister Raila Odinga's latest honorary degree.
Mr. Speaker, can the Prime Minister tell us what instrument the government is going to put in place to ensure that some of these certificates, diplomas, degrees that people are scrambling for, some which will obviously be fake, will receive sufficient authentication so that people with fake documents do not sneak into leadership in the country?
Mr. Speaker, well, I don't know where the honorable member is coming from, but Mr. Speaker, I was recently awarded a honorary doctorate degree by the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. But I'm also a holder of a Master of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering.
The showdown was yet another reminder to Kenyans of the high-voltage politics expected as the race to succeed President Mwai Kibaki gathers momentum. Francis Gashuri, Citizen Live at 9.